It reminds me a bit of when Arsenal put in a bid of 40 million for Luis Suarez because they discovered he had a clause in his contract that he had to be told about bids above 40 million or something, so they put the bid in, and then he just went, well, no. Obviously.
Let's chat about Raphinha then, because this one is being played out, it feels like, via agents and the media, and there's Barcelona, apparently his preferred destination, but we've seen bids from other clubs coming in, Arsenal notably this week. Where are we with this one then, Phil?
Well, the odd thing about Barcelona is that they're in no position to bid because they don't have the money to bid, and whether or not they pull the money together by the end of August is hard to know, because obviously there are ways to do that and they have players that they can sell, particularly De Jong. But I don't think it would suit Leeds in any way to sell him at the back end of the window. The timing of that would not be particularly convenient. And there's nothing to say that actually Barcelona would be able to do a deal for Raphinha at the level that they would have to pay. There's this weird narrative on Twitter about that is suggesting that Leeds are in some way denying Raphinha his dream move to Barcelona, when Barcelona can't actually pay for him. It's completely bizarre. So although that has been the one that the drum's been beaten about since January, February time, and although that seems to be the one that Deco, his agent, is closest to because he has very close ties to Barcelona, it's hard to know if it has any legs at this stage. Maybe it would have on the other side of the World Cup. Maybe the door would open there. So in the meantime, the door is clearly open for other clubs to bid. I think if Barcelona had the money, it would be very hard for anybody else to get involved, because that seems to be where he would want to go if he was leaving. Arsenal have bid. Nobody's really talking about the fee on this, but from what I can gather and what I understand, it was below £40 million. So therefore it was just smacked straight back over the net and rejected pretty much straight away. And it remains to be seen if Arsenal come back for a second time. Why they bid at that level, I have no idea, because that was never going to get accepted. Had Leeds been relegated, that's exactly the sort of fee that clubs probably could have twisted their arm into taking. But not in this division, and not given that he does have 2 years left on his contract, and he's going to be going to the World Cup with Brazil, and he is absolutely flying with Brazil as well. He is what you call hot property. Spurs are interested. There seem to be rumblings from Chelsea as well, but it's another one, a little bit like the Phillips deal, where it's all just kind of going round and round in circles at the moment. And
there are some fun subplots in there as well, in that Deco, who is his agent, Raphinha's agent, knows Edu, who's at Arsenal. Is he there? He's not director of football, but maybe head of recruitment.
Yeah, he runs the recruitment there. Yeah.
So there's suggestions that they're cooking something up there in the background, and it's just strange, isn't it? Yeah, the bid level under 40 million. You say. Do you have an idea about how much Leeds are going to be looking for in this?
Well, I think at top whack they value him between 60 and 70. Whether or not they would get offered that by anybody remains to be seen, and you then get into that sort of awkward circumstance where you start to think to yourself, in 6 months' time he's worth less, in 12 months' time he's worth less again. What do you ultimately settle on? But they would like something in that ballpark, I think. They're certainly not going to take sub 40 for him. And I mean, you mentioned there about the link to Edu and whether or not they're cooking something up, and that's obviously purely speculative. But if they are, at the moment, what Raphinha's got is the carrot of a move to Barcelona, which doesn't really seem to exist, and an offer from Arsenal, which was so far short, it was never ever going to succeed. It's a little bit difficult to know what everybody's playing at.
It reminds me a bit of when Arsenal put in a bid of 40 million for Luis Suarez because they discovered he had a clause in his contract that he had to be told about bids above 40 million or something, so they put the bid in, and then he just went, well, no. Obviously.
There were clearly massively crossed wires there where they thought that an extra pound was gonna do it, and then it didn't. So it's all pretty embarrassing. There is no buyout for Raphinha. There would have been if Leeds had gone down, and the same with Phillips, but there isn't at the moment. So you have to pay what Leeds would accept. And I think if Leeds were to get what they consider to be at least, reasonable or realistic opening offers, it's not that they're going to jump on them, but they would understand that there is potentially a discussion to be had, but there's not really any room for a discussion when it falls a long way short of what you're looking for.
And stories this week that Chelsea are the English-based front-runner for Raphinha, if you are to believe what those reports say. And again, I'm just looking down the list of Deco's former clubs. Barcelona is in there, and so is Chelsea.
Well, there you go. No, we will see. We will see. At the moment, I don't think there's been anything specific from Chelsea. Certainly no offer. The only offer as we speak has been from Arsenal, which, as it happens, is there's been no offer for Phillips at this stage yet. But we do expect that to come from City.
And a lot of these internet profiles who are the ones peddling this line about you're denying him his dream move. It's all the GOAT season people, isn't it, who don't go to games but just sit on Twitter tweeting out opinions about finished clubs and things like that.
Finished clubs,
all that kind of nonsense.
Right. Finished journalists, we get loads of that as well.
None of them aware of the idea of legally binding contracts, which obviously we have with Raphinha.
Well, it's more just that if you want somebody, you pay the money, don't you? Football must be the only business in the world where, maybe you could say this about other sports as well, perhaps like this in the NBA or NFL. I don't really know how they work when it comes to fees and everything else, but it must be the only arena industry in the world where people basically say, I want this player for this money and you should let him go. It's like going into somebody's house and saying, I'll have this house and I'm paying this for it, and they have to go, yeah, fair enough. It's
my dream house, though.
Yeah, it's my dream house. I know you won't be able to buy yours, and you probably end up on the streets. But this is where we want to live. So get your stuff, get out. If Barcelona want Raphinha and they pay the money, they'll get him.
You're a finished estate agent.
Yeah.